What's up, everybody? This is Jay, and welcome to the Shy Episode 9 Recap. Remember to subscribe to my channel and also click that like button. And don't forget to support me on Patreon and PayPal. Now, let's get into it. When we first click in on the Shy, we see Emmett walking into the rib shack, and he sees that Pops has been bust upside the head. He asks what happened to Sonny. Sonny say, hey, man, my moves ain't the same. I fail. He say, hey, man, I need some money. I'm going to ask your brother for some more. And he said, hey, man, stay away from him. Everybody you know will be dead if you keep messing with him. And so he kind of got the point across that. Meanwhile, we see at this church, we see Easy-E mama, Branda's mama, and she's going there for some group counseling. She got to get that square one last hit first. And it just so happened it's the same spot where Jason's mama is. And so they in there talking. That girl got a big 5 head, look like Alien Nation. That damn hair running from the front of that head. Anyway, we see her talking, and she's letting everybody know how of Jason and how she ended up getting pregnant by an older man, and that he ended up keeping her in the room, and she tried to kill herself, and she said, if you don't let me free, then I won't kill the baby. And she said that's how she ended up keeping Jason. And based off her descriptions, that's how we could tell that Q, Panama Jack, is the baby's daddy. He's the pappy. And right when she was explaining that, that's when Brandon's mama walked in. Meanwhile, we cut over to Jerica and Easy, and they having a little makeup sex, and they actually getting it on. He on top, he hitting it from the back, and then you can see him arriving at the point of destination. You have arrived. Meanwhile, after the sex is over, you could tell it was good because he's scrambling the hell out them eggs, and she just smiling, looking at him, and then she brings out a little shoebox. She about to give him a little Cinderella slipper, but then he opens it up, and it's full of cash. She got stacks on that. So you know he must have hit that spot real good if she ready to give him money. And so she's smiling. He say, what's this? She say, hey, I've been saving, and this is money for you to get started. He like, but I can't, this ain't enough. She like, that's all right, this will get you going. They kiss, and now it's all good. And then we cut to the school, and we see Fats Domino. He in the locker room stretching his legs and arms, and then Kev walk in. He want to talk. He like, man, I ain't trying to hear it, man. He like, hey, man, we need to talk, Papa. Then he like, man, you lied to me. He like, I didn't lie. I just didn't tell you. It was just so much going on. Then he like, man, is we cool? And then he try to come and give him a hug. He like, come on, man, we can't be hugging in boys' locker room. He like, man, you need a hug. He like, so we good? He stick out his hand. They dap up and they roll out. And in the end, he say, come on, man, we got to get ready, man. I've been stretching my glutes, man. I can't have a strain in my sciatic nerve. He like, man, what the hell are you talking about? Meanwhile, we cut to Ronnie, and he's walking through the hood. He's ready to pour out a little liquor. He pick up his favorite empty can of beverage, OE, and then he kneels down, in remembrance to this old half-ass memorial for Coogie, and that got him in deep consternation. So he goes back to the grandma's house. He starts to shave. It's about time he wiped them boogers off his damn face. He could have just brushed it, but anyway, he starts to cut off the booger beard. No more Boog Night. He's transformed. Now he look like a pedophile. He's walking through now. He look like Raj from What's Happening Now. He didn't cut off his mustache. Men ain't supposed to have a beard with no mustache. You look like a damn To Catch a Predator. Anyway, he cleaned it all up. He looked better than Boogie Nights. And so you see him, he goes into the kitchen, and then he sees Jada in there, and she cooking. She say, hey, man, I lost my job helping you out. He like, what? And so now she like, hey, you need to keep an eye on your grandma, because if somebody else come in here, they may recommend her to be put in the home. So now that got him thinking in deep concentration, and he didn't realize all the stuff he done messed up. Meanwhile, we cut back to the church where the ladies was having a little get together, and they all leaving, and then we see the two moms of the main story of this show so happen to be at the same church at the same time in the same neighborhood, and they talking, and she she's saying, hey, Tracy, my son, he was questioning Coogie's death. She like, yeah, I heard that. She like, hey, my son ain't had nothing to do with that. He was a good boy. He was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. And then she walked off. And so now Tracy's sitting there realizing that her son is dead because she told Boog Knight to go and handle that business for her, and he ended up killing him. Meanwhile, we see Blackbeard, he in the car, and then next thing you know, Panama Jack slide in. Q like, hey, what's up? He like, what the hell you doing in my car? He like, hey, what we gonna do about traffic? See, he thinks he's on top of everything, but he's not. Because if he was, how could I just come into his house, take his dog, take his guns? He like, okay, so what are you telling me this? He's like, so he go in his wallet, pull out this little stash envelope, look like it's full of money, say, okay, I showed you mine, now you show me yours. Find out who killed that basketball player. He say, what's it to you? He say, that's my son. And so he tell him, you know who killed him? He say, yeah, but I want to hear you say it. He said, Trice killed your boy. And so that's all he needed to know, and he was on the go. Meanwhile, we see Lil Easy pull up at the chop shop with the roach coach, and then he telling his boy he want to get it hooked up. They happy. He say, hey man, look, just pay me for parts, we'll handle the rest. So he happy. Meanwhile, we see Reg pulling up at this yoga spot, and he's trying to check out a little Lululemon, and then next thing you know, picking up Trice. And Trice say, where's my ride? He say, oh man, it's at that detail shop you like. He say, hey man, don't tell nobody you pick up from here. Did you handle that business? He say, not yet, but I'm about to. So they get in the car and pull off, say less. Meanwhile, we see Officer Cruz and his little man Squeeze, and she's asking him what's going on. He's saying he think that Blackbeard is a crooked cop. She say, did you tell somebody? He say, yeah, told my Sarge, but she don't see it. She say, hey, I'm late. He like, late? Then she pull out the magic stick, a box of magic sticks, and they start smiling. He like, oh, late. So he think he got a little copper on the way. Meanwhile, we see at the school, we see Fats, and we see his boy, and they talking about practice. You mean practice? And so then he say, let me holler at my girl right quick. So he go and holler at Andrea, and she like, yeah, Kev, my parents said I can't date till I'm 18. Then she straight give him the hand and put him in the friend zone. He was like, damn. Meanwhile, we see at grandma's house, we see she's still trying to take care of her, Jada, and she's checking her stuff, and she say, hey girl, what you doing here? The office called, said they trying to find somebody. You quit? She say, no, I didn't quit. She said, you got fired? She like, they let me go. Does it have to do with Ronnie? She say, hand me that box of squares. She pull out the squares, and next thing you know, she pull out a Mississippi knot and put it in Jerica's hand. She like, I can't take this. She like, you can and you will, girl. Meanwhile, we see Ronnie. He trying to be Mr. Do-Right in the hood. He find his boys, and he tell them, hey man, come here, I need a favor from you. Follow me. So now they on the way. Meanwhile, we see Big and Little look like before and after walking down the street. They looking for Jake. They like, hey man, you didn't come to rehearsal or school. What's going on? He say, man, I ain't going. Reg ain't go to school. Look how good he doing. They like, what? He's drug dealer. Next thing you know, Reg pulls up on him. Hey, what's up, man? Y'all hop in. He like, they about to go. He like, man, they ain't gotta go. Come on, we about to get something to eat. Fats, I know you can put some food up in you. He like, yeah, I could do for a meal. Come on, Kev. He trying to break bed with him. Next thing you know, he slide his poundage in the back seat of the car. So now they rolling. Now we see Reg. He trying to be the big brother to him. He asking them if they didn't got their little willy wet. And next thing you know, we see Fats talking about, well, I believe in matrimony, Mr. Reg. He like, not you, Fats. I know you ain't got none. I'm talking about Kev back here. He like, what's up? He like, well, I only kissed her at the roller rink. He like, oh man, that ain't much, man. He like, but she was tripping. He like, man, that's what the bathroom stalls for. And man, all women, they want it just as much as men. And if they ain't, they lying. He's like, they all freaks. He like, my mom's not a freak. He like, man, your mom is a freak. And if she ain't, she using it as a weapon against your pops. Meanwhile, we see Catch a Predator now, and he walking through the hood with his boys. and they go to his grandma's house, and then he's trying to introduce his grandma to him, say, hey, they gonna look after you. She say, they ain't gonna look after me, they here to rob me, and this one smell like reefer. He like, no, not me. She like, yeah, you. And she like, here, I'll save you the trouble, here's my money, I ain't got none, and I ain't get paid till next week. They like, we ain't here for that. He like, grandma, come on now. And then she go grab the shotty, and she said, arrivederci, and say la vie. And next thing you know, they run out like roaches with the lights cut on. And so he say, grandma, come on now. And she pointed at him. He like, come on, grandma, it ain't even loaded. He take the gun, put it up against the door. And what you bringing them boys here for? They can't do nothing for me. Like, they need to look out for you, grandma. I need to tell you something. She like, don't tell me nothing, I don't want to hear it. Meanwhile, we cut over to Brandon, and he pull up in the roach coach. You know, them kids, they'll build a porch in 30 minutes. So you know they ain't had no problem hours. So you know they'll build a new car in no time. And so we see him pull up on the spot, and they all territorial, asking him what he doing, and he like, hey man, we ain't I'm just trying to park here and, you know, serve my food. And so they like, you can't be here, and this is for somebody else anyway. He like, I got a permit, say I'm open for business. They said, nice fake, go across the street or we'll call the inspector on you. Meanwhile, we cut over to White Palace, which just so happened to be a spot that I used to eat all the time when I used to get off work at UPS. Anyway, we see the cops up in there, and they in there eating, and he say, hey man, did you call a Sarge on me? He say, yeah man, I was just checking. He say, man, don't check on me. He say, how come this phone call didn't come up for the 911 logs? See man, you need to leave alone, man, leave this case alone. It's the one that got away, huh? Anyway, he leave it alone. They walk off. Then we cut to over at Reg and the crew, and Heavy D and the boys, and we see that they eating Polishes, which is another spot that I used to go to. Anyway, they getting Polishes, and next thing you know, we see Big Worm roll up on Reg, and he asking, have you seen Trice? He like, oh yeah man, I picked him up earlier from yoga, I dropped him off at the crib. He like, what you been on all day? He like, oh, I'm just playing big homie, what's good? He like, he ain't answering this phone. He say, man, he probably got some broad or whatever laid up, he good. Meanwhile, we cut over to Emmett, and he in the park, and next thing you know, here comes his baby mama, and this is a different actress than the original baby mama he had. Anyway, we see them, and he's arranging to give us some money. He's saying, I'm trying to do better, this and that, and she like, that's good, we'll make something work, which he doing this all wrong. I'll talk about this at the end of the video, what he should do. Anyway, she talking about, yeah, we going to a concert, and little Emmett like my boyfriend or whatever, which is bogus. And so then she had a boyfriend come bring over his son. Then she like, yeah, you can keep her for the night, because of course she about to go get turned up at the concert. And so then she walking away, and then old boy come and say, hey man, I'm gonna help you out with your son, make sure that she give him to you, keep the drama down. He like, all right, cool, thanks. He like, oh, just give me an extra $100 every month and we all good. You don't want no problems with me, bro, little homie. Which is bogus as hell. Meanwhile, we see over at the Polish shop, we see the kids coming back with the Polish, and then we see Jake, and he's talking about that little punk Corey over there. He like, who's Corey? He like, man, you need to go handle that. He been talking crazy about you. If you don't handle it, they gonna always think you a punk. Then he like, oh, I get it. You scared. You ain't trying to do nothing. You scared. It used to be a time when I was scared. I get it. He's like, what? What do you mean, Mr. Reg? And Papa's stupid, boy. He funny. And he like, man, it was this girl. She used to come and beat my ass all the time or whatever, until one day, take my money, until one day I ain't had nothing and I fought back. All I'm saying is it only take one time to fight back, and you ain't got nothing to be scared no more. And so Jake get in the zone. He tuck his chain. He walking over there. He like, what, y'all ain't, you ain't got homies back? Y'all better go over there. And so he's sitting back about to enjoy the show. And next thing you know, Jake walk all there and just straight steal on old boy and knock him out with the straight right hook. And so he fall out on the floor. One of his boys try to grab Jake and him up, put him in the little 211. And Fats and Kev just sit there and watch. Rounds, he could have went in there and just straight bulldozed a couple people, pulled the quarterback sneak, and straight went for a sack. tackle them dudes, but he just stood there and watched, scared. Then next thing you know, good thing they didn't, because the police roll up. So now he shook. Police take everybody, put him on the hood. He's checking them, and then next thing you know, they say this officer looked just like Wesley Snipes. She tell him, "Hey, get y'all over here too." And he like, "We didn't do nothing." They like, "I don't care, get over it. And don't you know I'm Blade's mama?" And so they all get over there, and they scared about to shit a brick. Meanwhile, we see Kev. He done pulled up into a new spot under Graffiti Bridge, and so just so happened that this little busted look like Dave Chappelle wannabe reject at his boy, and they see him and they like, "Ain't that old boy that was at Reg's house?" And so they getting ready to go tell Reg whatever about Lil Easy. And so then this old dude come up, he trying to get some food, and he all smiles because that's his first customer, trying to get a busted taco, busted tacos. And meanwhile, we cut back over to the Polish shop, and all the kids is hemmed up on the car, and it's funny because Papa talking about, "Man, I can't go to the Audi home. I don't know what my mama do." In the Audi home, that's funny because in Chicago, when we all was kids, or the place where they take bad kids or whatever. And anyway, Wesley Snipes Jr., the mama or whatever, she tell him, "Hey, look, y'all can go, and I better not see y'all fighting again." And so they all walk over there back to Reg. Jake, he feel like a man. He shake up. He didn't handle this business. Got a little bloody red lip and everything. And so they getting ready to pull off in the car. They like, "What's up? Y'all coming?" They like, "Nah, we gonna stay. Tell Mr. Reg thanks for the food." Meanwhile, we cut off over to Granny. She sleep. And next thing you know, we see Catch a Predator up in there. He give Granny a kiss goodbye, put on his coat, and he was out. Say less. Meanwhile, we see Lil Easy, he cleaning up his busted tacos, and then we see Sarah walk up, and so somehow she done found him. Somehow she said she tracked him on Twitter, said he would be there, so she like, "Hey, what's up? You doing good? I'm proud of you." He like, "Thanks." She say, "Hey, my husband know about us," which, you know, it don't matter no more to him because he don't work there. Anyway, he gets back to the house, and he's all happy to see Jerica, but then at the same time, he want to tell her, "Hey, look, I'm glad to be back with you and everything, but I don't want nothing to come up in the future that could ruin nothing. So I just want to let you know when we were separated, I mess around with somebody." She like, "Mess around?" He like, "Yeah, I slept with somebody." She like, "Somebody I know?" He like, "Sarah." He like, "Oh, okay, well, I slept with somebody too." And that just left him shook, looking stupid, because she let a new man slide in her slit. Meanwhile, we see the car pull up, Reg and Jake, and he say, "Hey man, I gotta drop this package off." They open up the trunk, and lo and behold, it's Trice in there, duct tape in the back of the trunk. And now he done brought Jake into the mix. Meanwhile, we cut over to the police station, and we see Predator. He trying to call in and say, "Hey, I want to report elderly abuse." And he giving the number to his grandma. He walk into the police station. He's sitting there getting ready to confess. And then we see Officer Cruz walk up, and he like, "Hey, I want to talk to you." He like, "What's up?" He like, "I want to confess to the murder of Cookie Johnson." And right then and there, that was the bombshell that was dropped. And Officer Cruz is like, "Damn, I can't believe the guilt actually got to him." And so he kind of let him know what was going on. And then the show cuts off. So in the end, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Click that bell next to the subscribe button. Click that like button. Don't forget to support me on Patreon and PayPal. The links is in the description box below the video. Also, I got a video exclusive for Patreon subscribers of how I make videos. It's a behind the scene video. It's very detailed, so check it out for all you Patreon subscribers. In the end, peace, and I'll see you in the next video.